In this video, we are going to go over signs of early labor so you know exactly what to expect and the recommendations on what to do to promote an easier labor. Hi, my name is Dancee Pinkston, also known as Fearless Mama, and I like to talk about things such as intentional motherhood, mindset, and pregnancy and birth topics. So make sure to hit that red subscribe button down below and hit the bell, especially if you don't want to miss my new labor and birth series. With that being said, let's get started. So this video is part 1 of my Stages of Labor series, where I'm going to walk you through the 5 phases of labor and birth. And this is something close to my heart and something that I put together when I was pregnant with my first daughter, mainly so that I could overcome the fear of the unknown, especially being a first-time mom, and so that I would know what to expect, so that I could empower myself with knowledge, so that I could ultimately promote an easier birth for myself, and in the physiological, mental, and spiritual sense. And my wish for every mom is to enjoy a fearless birth no matter what birth they choose, and so I wanted to share this info with you guys. Okay, so let's go over the stages of labor. How many stages? There are 3 stages of labor. So stage 1 is the bulk of it. It includes the early labor phase, the active labor phase, and transition. Stage 2 is all about pushing phase. Stage 3 is the afterbirth of the placenta. So the early labor stage is the majority of the whole birth experience. It is known for its regular contractions that may not be close together, and they may not last very long. And this is definitely said to be the most comfortable phase of labor, as it is easing the body into the next phase of labor. So the signs of early labor include early labor contractions that may be 5 to 7 minutes apart, or they may be 10 minutes apart, lasting 30 to 45 seconds each. And they can even be sporadic at times. Mom is generally able to walk and rest and sleep and talk and laugh and move around with no problem. And the dilation of the cervix is somewhere in between 0 centimeters to about 6 centimeters, with a goal of getting to 10 centimeters, the size of a bagel. So now we're going to go into a little bit more in depth about early labor and share with you the extra signs that are happening. So with the true labor contractions that you should be having, these contractions wrap around from back to front. And if you are unsure if you are in early labor or not, make sure to catch my signs of true labor versus false labor contractions in a different video to help you determine that. A big early labor sign is having loose stools. This is from the hormones relaxing the muscles around the rectum, and the body at this time usually does a good job of clearing itself out so that you can be ready to go. Also, a big one in early labor phase that everyone wants to know about is the mucus plug or the bloody show. So the mucus plug is a cork-like barrier in the cervix that helps prevent bacteria from traveling up into the uterus. It is like an egg white jam consistency that can be lost in small pieces. This can happen days and even weeks before birth starts, and therefore not a good indicator that labor will start soon, since it has the ability to regenerate itself. But when you are having true early labor contractions and the cervix begins to thin and soften and open up, often a bloody mucus is expelled from the body. And that's where it gets its term, the bloody show. And in early labor, this is basically just a blood-tinged mucus plug. So a little different, but it does mean that there's cervical change. So this bleeding we're talking about is caused by the rupture of small blood vessels in the cervix from a lot of pressure being placed onto the cervix, either by your baby's bottom or head. So the bloody show normally happens during labor for the most part, but can happen before, but most first-time moms don't have much of a bloody show until active labor begins. So some recommendations on what to do in the early labor phase that you and your partner or your birthing team can be doing to just kind of make it flow better and just be easier on your body is definitely to rest and relax. You're going to want to stay put, stay comfortable, and it is really encouraged to do things that you love and enjoy and that just bring peace. And definitely get excited at this point. This is an exciting time, and I highly recommend to not obsess over tracking these contractions. For one, early labor can last a long time, even up to 20 hours for the first-time mom. And two, during this early labor phase, you want your main focus to be on conserving energy and promoting labor hormones with feelings of love, comfort, and peace. Another great tip during this time is to make sure that your baby is in the optimal birthing position, especially if you're seeing lots of irregular contractions or having signs of stalled labor. And if you are wanting to speed things up, I highly recommend checking out my Spinning Babies exercise techniques videos on inducing labor at home, as I was having signs of super stalled labor, and after doing this, things picked up very quickly for me. So next, let's talk about those labor hormones, or what you can do to promote an easier early labor. The number one recommendation that I was told is to not go to the hospital too early, or your place of birth. There are definitely benefits to staying at home during this phase. It gives you the flexibility to move freely. If you're staying at home, you're more than likely being surrounded by people you trust and love and who make you feel completely comfortable. Or maybe you're kind of just going off to yourself and you don't want anyone at all to be watching you during this time. And that brings me to another good tip, which is to dim the lights. You can use a nightlight or LED candles. This signals to the brain that it is time for rest. And one of the hormones that is produced during this time is melatonin, which majorly promotes relaxation and sleep. Dimming the lights can also give you just a little less exposed feeling, which definitely can bring more comfort to the laboring mom. So yes, taking a nap during this time would definitely be beneficial for conserving energy. Aromatherapy is another good one, using calming essential oils, making sure to speak softly and have others around you speaking softly to you. You could even put on some soft labor music, definitely to keep the peace that your relaxing labor hormones are trying so hard to work up. It's important to get comfortable in comfortable clothes, even under warm blankets. Again, comfort is everything during this phase. Another good one is cuddling and kissing. This boosts that love oxytocin hormone responsible for all those labor contractions you're having and about to have. Another thing that would be fun to do is watch like a love movie, a love relaxing movie. You don't want to watch anything intense or something that would cause you to have anxiety or anything like that. But it ultimately would be best if you stayed away from electronics and blue light. Again, to keep boosting that melatonin and boosting that love oxytocin hormone. So all of that promotes that important parasympathetic calming body system and all those good labor hormones that your body needs for a quick and easy labor, rather than ramping you up and putting yourself in fight or flight mode, or your sympathetic stressed body system, which unfortunately can cause more pain, putting yourself into fear and therefore causing more pain, and can even stall labor or cause it to be longer than it should be. So let's not do that. In this early labor phase, you're gonna definitely want to get prepared, making sure to eat a nourishing meal and keeping hydrated as you approach the active labor phase. And as you get closer into that active labor phase, you're going to want to just stick to like the energizing liquids, since your digestive system slows down once you get deeper into labor. Another great thing to do to prepare is visualize. Just getting in a comfortable position and positively imagining your birth and labor experience happening exactly as you planned, or at least in a positive way. It would be a good time to say a prayer, read over your birth affirmations, and remind yourself of your birth motto that you're wanting to hang on to during your labor and birth. And I have printouts for you guys in the description box below with those things. And if you are not wanting to have a home birth, you're gonna want to finish packing really quick and get ready for the day, put your car seat in the car, all those things, those last minute things that you're needing to get done. If you're feeling a little uncomfortable during this phase, some good things to do would be a light, gentle labor massage, making sure to go up and away from the spine. But I would love to go into more detail with that topic in another video. You could also try a heating pad or a shower where it's targeting on a certain area that you're feeling uncomfortable. It's not recommended to take a bath during this phase. A bath could really slow down labor during this early labor phase, since this is already a long process, and in a good way to prepare your body. As things get a little more intense and you are slowly moving into that next active labor phase, you want to go ahead and get into the habit or the ritual of using your breathing techniques. Even though you may not need them for pain management right now, it's good to get in that flow ahead of time before it catches you off guard. De-stress breathing and mindful breathing techniques are so beneficial for having an easier labor and birth, which I would love to talk to you about in another video. But for right now, that's all I have for you in this video. As always, thanks for watching, and see you in part 2 of the signs of active labor and how to know when to go to the hospital in labor and more.